How does she convince everyone that she's good?
Good is not a thing you are, Kamala. It is a thing you do.
What were some of the initial challenges about how to actually adapt the comics into live action, whether it's, with the powers, or how to kind of integrate her culture with the superhero-ness of it all?
Fitting her into like a decade of storytelling in terms of visual storytelling in terms of the MCU. So I guess you could call that a challenge, but for me, it was like, that's the fun bit of working in the MCU and putting those pieces together. In terms of the powers, that was a big conversation between Kevin and myself, early doors, where we were discussing what we wanted to honor and what we also needed to fit into that MCU, to make changes to fit into the MCU that exists. Not just what exists, but what's to come, ... no spoilers. Thing of integrating her culture actually felt very easy, because that's my world, it's Sana's world, it's the world of many of the actors in the show, it's also the writers in the writers' room, it's many of their worlds. Like, we had some incredible Pakistani American writers in the room, we had writers from the East Coast, not just Pakistanis, but like from all kinds of people in our writers' room, who are all brought different talents and also brought so much of themselves, and were so generous with intimating like experiences they'd had as teenagers, experiences they've had as second generation immigrants.
I love that. And I mean, like you said, as a South Asian myself, what really stood out to me when I was watching is the relationship between Kamala and her mother. And then eventually what I presume will happen as Kamala finds out more about her ancestry. So why was it important to kind of flesh that out? Because I really liked seeing that. I thought that it was very authentic. It felt like a lot of detail had been put into it.
I never want it to feel like tradition bad, contemporary modern Western good. That's not what we're saying. Mm-hmm. I completely get Maniba. I understand where she's coming from, and she's coming from a place of love, and Kamala's coming from a place of love too. And there's this negotiation that's happening between them in teenagerhood of Kamala's like, okay, well, how can I do this? And Maniba has to kind of question herself and be like, well, how do I negotiate my position as your parent in this? And I think that back and forth and how it's going to grow and develop over the season felt really real, felt universal, and also felt really specifically about this family with this background. So yeah, I feel really honored to be able to tell part of that story.